Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's chair yoga practice. For today's practice, you will need a chair, a bolster perhaps for the meditation and relaxation part of the practice, and you might choose to have a couple blocks for your feet to rest on if you feel like the floor is a little bit too far away when you're sitting in a chair. So, invitation to go ahead and take a seat. I'm going to use the blocks under my feet to start practice today. Feels nice to have a little bit of a lift. And you might choose to sit back into the chair, or you might choose to sit away from the chair, depending on what feels the best for your body. So let's begin today by just taking a moment and checking to make sure you've got all the props that you need. Maybe taking a sip of water, whatever it is that you need to do to help yourself feel about 5% more relaxed. And then as you feel you're ready, you might choose to close your eyes if that feels right for you today. Or perhaps softening the gaze. The eyes are open, just looking ahead without looking at anything in particular, or perhaps looking down at the floor, again, without looking at anything in particular, simply allowing the muscles around the eyes to soften. And let's begin by taking awareness to the body and just noticing how the body feels this morning. Noticing where there's areas of tension, where there's areas of spaciousness. You may want to bring attention to the parts of the body in contact with the surface you're resting on. So noticing the chair along the back of the thighs, perhaps feeling the back of the chair pressing into the back of the hips or the spine. Noticing the sensations of the feet into the block, of the hands into your lap. And now, if it feels right, you might choose to shift your awareness to the sensations in your mind, just noticing any thoughts that might be present. Trying not to judge them or to get caught up in a story about them, simply noticing whatever thoughts are present. And then bringing awareness now to the heart, noticing the sensations of the heart. So just checking in and seeing how you're feeling emotionally today, whether you feel lethargic or energized, content or discontent. Again, not needing to get caught up in the story as to why you're feeling these feelings, just simply noticing them, noticing what is present in this moment. And now bringing attention to the sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Noticing where the breath feels most noticeable. So perhaps at the level of the nose, feeling the cool air moving into the nostrils and the damp, warm air moving out. Perhaps noticing the breath in the back of the throat. Noticing the rise and fall of the chest. Or the expansion and relaxation of the belly. Just noticing exactly what the breath is doing in this moment. And then in this moment. And then in this moment. And then as we start to move into practice, opening the eyes if they were closed, widening the gaze if the eyes were soft, we're going to start with a bit of a neck release this morning. So the invitation here is to take the hands, and what we're going to do is we're using the flat part of the fingers, not the ends of the fingers, but the flat parts of the fingers. And you can just start to palpate as best you can around the neck, the sides of the neck. You're not creating discomfort for yourself, just noticing the feel of the tissue beneath your hands. So noticing what qualities there are. It could be external qualities, for example, the neck and shoulders, tops of the shoulders might feel a little bit rigid or tense. Or internally, you might notice that as you press down, perhaps there's a bit of discomfort, or maybe there's a sound that comes, like a crackling sound, or perhaps there's this internal sensation of tension. So again, you're just exploring here with the flat parts of your fingers and just noticing what's happening, noticing what there is to be known here. And then you could also gently start to feel around the neck. Again, we're just exploring with our fingers. It's just a curiosity. We're not actually trying to change anything at this time. Just noticing how this area of the neck and upper shoulders feel. Good, and then allowing the palms to rest into the lap, palms up or palms down. We're going to start with the right side. So the instructions are to turn your head about 30 degrees to the right, and then drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then draw the right shoulder up. Allow the mouth to be open and just gently drop your head back. And just hold here, breathing. The tongue is soft in the mouth, the jaw is relaxed. And then bring your head back to level. Release the shoulder, release the ear to upright, and then turn your head back to center. And just pause for a moment. Now, please know that if this creates an increase in discomfort or it just doesn't feel right for you, then just continue to stay here. Perhaps you can take awareness to the breath, or if you wanted to, you could continue to do a bit of a self-massage with the hands, okay? We're gonna do this 2 more times to the right. So turning the nose about 30 degrees to the right, dropping the right shoulder towards the right ear, the right ear towards the right shoulder, and bringing the right shoulder up, and then allowing the mouth to softly open, and then just gently dropping the head just a little bit back here as you inhale and exhale. Just trying to keep the rest of the body relaxed. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever is most comfortable for you today. And then bringing the head to center, releasing the right shoulder, releasing the ear, and then turning the head back to center. Okay, we're going to do that 1 more time. So head 30 degrees, right ear to right shoulder, right shoulder to right ear. Relax the mouth, tongue is soft, dropping the head just a little bit back. And just breathe here. Eyes can be open or closed, or somewhere in between. Good. And then head comes to center, right shoulder drops, right ear comes up, and bring the head to face forward. And then just pausing here for a moment. And just noticing what's happening on this right side of the neck and shoulder. We're going to do the same exercise 3 times on the left. So as you're ready, turning the nose 30 degrees to the left, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder rises up, mouth is relaxed, and then just dropping the head back gently and just breathing here as you inhale and exhale. And then bringing the head to center, left shoulder down, right ear comes up, and then head to neutral. Pausing here, eyes open or closed, just noticing any sensations that might be present. And we'll do that 2 more times. So I'm not going to cue you. I'd like you to try to remember and do it on your own. Two or three breaths. And then head comes to center. Just noticing how the left side of the neck feels. And we'll do one more. 30-degree turn. Ear to shoulder, shoulder to ear. Head drops, mouth is open, tongue is relaxed. Head neutral, or pardon me, head forward, shoulder down, head upright, and then back to center, and then just pausing here for a moment, noticing what that feels like. Now you can take those flat pads of your hands and just, again, just stroking and noticing if you notice any change. You might not. Just noticing whatever is present. Releasing down. Good. All right. If you had your feet on your blocks, you can move those out of the way and sit forward. So when I sit forward, my feet reach a little bit better. So sitting forward to the edge of your mat, just so that we have a little bit more space. We're going to start with some Sufi circles. So let's take the feet a little bit wider apart here, sitting up nice and tall. And we're just going to start circling here, as big as a circle as you feel is appropriate for you today. So I really want this class to be a very gentle focus of just being aware of how the body feels and just noticing all the things that are happening as we create each movement. So if your hands are on your thighs, you might notice that the tension in your thighs changes depending on where you are in your circle. If you don't notice that, that's fine. But I just would like you to sort of connect with the inner sensations of the movements. If that means you need to close your eyes to do so, feel free to do that. Just exploring. And again, you can make this as big or as small as you want. I'm going to kind of stay in this sort of medium range. It feels good for me right now. Feels good on my hips and on my back. Not everything needs to be the deepest and farthest that you can go. Sometimes it's just about moving consistently in little increments and just noticing what changes are occurring. And then as you're ready, we can reverse the direction. So for those of you that may be practicing and experiencing some form of chronic pain, whether it is an autoimmune illness that you are currently living with, or whether it is an injury or whatever else that might be going on, the goal is to create some movement, to notice and feel the sensations that are occurring, but we don't want to increase the pain and discomfort dramatically. Okay, so see if you can find a window that allows you to create the movement pattern without ramping up any discomfort. Sometimes it'll be a very small movement, depending on the day, and some days you might be able to go a little bit bigger. So just work with what is available for you today. And sometimes the best you can do is breathing. And if that's your best, is being aware of breath and just focusing on breath, then do that. Okay, so again, just understanding that you need to work to the level that your body arrives to the mat each day. And some days you'll be able to do more, and some days you'll need to do less, and that's okay. Good, and then coming to center, pausing for a moment, noticing how that feels. Maybe start with some circle rolls here, nice and easy. Just keeping them as big or as small as feels right for you today. If it feels better to do one arm at a time, you can explore that. So maybe moving into some alternating shoulder circles. This changes a little bit how you use the spine. And so it's okay to let the spine shift if that feels all right for you. Okay. Now, whether you were doing both arms together or you were alternating arm, invitation here to explore the other direction if that feels right for you. So with both shoulders rolling forward, just if it feels right. Again, it doesn't need to be the biggest movement, just looking at creating a little bit of balance, going from one direction and then switching to go into the other. Working with your breath and just noticing the parts of your body that are moving and the sensations that come with that. Releasing any negative self-talk or judgment that you might be placing upon yourself or upon the movements, and just be here to experience the movement. Okay, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. We're just simply here exploring what it feels like to be in this body today. Good, and then coming to center. Maybe changing the position of the feet. You could bring them a little bit closer together. You might want to sit back in your seat, take a bit of a breather, or you might want to sit a little further forward. So just be aware of how you're feeling and know that you can change your form at any time. So let's take the arms down and let's see if we can increase the mobility here a little bit, okay? So let's start by taking the elbows up and then circling them down. So this now becomes a little bit bigger of a movement. And again, it only needs to be as big as feels right for you. Just noticing how it feels. Maybe it feels like it can go a little bit bigger, bring a little bit more of the arms. So again, explore that and see. You don't necessarily need to follow what I'm doing. Just see what's available. And then let's reverse the direction. So maybe you start with your arms big, or maybe you start with your elbows, totally up to you. I'm going to start with my elbows. That feels right. Letting your body move with the shoulders. Maybe making the movement a little bit bigger by lengthening your arms, if that feels right. Good. And then relaxing the arms down, maybe taking the head side to side a little bit, just noticing how it all feels. Good, and let's do a little bit more work with the shoulders and the arms. We're also going to bring the hands and the wrists into this. So let's take the palms together at the heart level. And then as you inhale, maybe start to take the arms to the sky. Maybe you don't straighten them. Maybe you keep an elbow bent, or maybe you can straighten them all the way. Your choice. And then as you exhale, bring them down, down, down. And as you come closer towards your navel, there's a little bit more of a stretch placed into the wrists. So just explore that. So perhaps you can come right down to the navel. Perhaps you just come to the heart center. Just see what feels right for you. Inhale, we're going to open this up. Stretch the fingers wide like you're holding a big ball. And then exhale, bringing the hands together as you come down, down, down. And you might need to take a couple breaths. Okay, one breath might not be enough. That's okay. Inhale, open, stretching the fingers wide, big ball. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reaching up. And then exhale, hands come down. And then allow your arms to hang. And you can start to do some circles with the wrists in one direction. It's noticing if you've got a difference. It feels difference in sensation or difference in movement. And then let's go the other way. Seeing how that feels. Good. And then we're going to move into a little bit of cat and cow. So let the hands relax on the thighs. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what's happening with my spine. Just sitting tall, we're just going to start with a little bit of a rounding. So with your hands, gently pressing into your thighs if that feels right, to round through the spine. It's like you're letting your seat tuck underneath of you. Ooh, just give myself a little adjustment there. And then inhale, let's come tall, sending the shoulder blades down. So you're just coming to a nice long position here, okay? Let's do that again, pressing and rounding. Maybe looking down towards your belly, and then inhale, sitting tall. Check to make sure that your feet are in firm contact with the floor. So you might need to use your blocks underneath your feet, okay? Or if you're not using your blocks, just check to make sure you're pressing down into the floor as you round through the spine. And then press down into the floor to help you stack those vertebrae nice and tall. Exhaling, press. Inhaling and stack. Exhaling and press. We're going to change the stack now. As you inhale, stack, and if it feels okay for you, just send your heart forward towards the sky, like it's the tiniest little back bend. Nod the chin, exhale. Inhale, stack first, and then if it feels right, you can send your heart forward. Exhale. And then inhale, stacking up nice and tall. Relaxing the arms at your side, just pausing here for a moment. Maybe the eyes are closed, maybe they're open, and just noticing what's happening in the body, how the body's feeling. And we're going to move into some half sun salutations. So I'm going to demonstrate one round in a seated position. And then for those of you that want to come out of your chair, I will demonstrate a round in standing using the chair for support. But for this first round, we can work from the chair, okay? So hands to thighs, pressing down to create length in the spine, reaching through the crown, okay? As you inhale, you might choose to take your hands towards the sky as high as it feels comfortable for you. And then as you exhale, bringing the palms down onto your thighs, press into the palms as you round through the back, dropping the chin. Now inhale, stack your spine, come up tall. Now as you exhale, nod your chin again, round. This might be as far as you go today, or for some of us, we might want to explore coming a little bit closer towards the floor. And then inhale, using your hands to support you, walking yourself up. Hands to the sky. And if it feels right, you can bring your hands down the midline into Anjali Mudra or prayer position, or you can just bring your hands and place them down on the thighs. I'm going to do this one more time in seated, and then I will work in standing. Okay, so here we go. Inhale, nodding, inhale, sitting tall, taking the arms to the sky. Now, again, my breath recommendations are just recommendations. Do what works for you. Exhaling, hands to thighs, nod the chin, let yourself round forward. Inhale, stacking up, shoulders away from ears. Nice and long, crown to the ceiling. Exhale, nodding the chin and slowly rolling forward as far as it feels right for you today. And then slowly inhaling, coming all the way up, maybe reaching the hands to the sky. And then exhaling the hands to center. So if you want to continue seated, please feel free to stay seated. If you'd like to try it in standing, you can join me in standing. We're going to use the side of the chair for support. So inhaling, taking the hands to the sky. Exhaling, hands to thighs, nod the chin, folding forward. Maybe take your hands to the chair. Press into the chair or into the thighs, straightening the spine, looking straight ahead. And then exhale, folding forward, letting yourself hang. Now, if you want to bend your knees, you can, maybe resting your forearms on the chair. And then as you're ready, with an inhalation, pressing down with your feet, using your hands to support. Hands can come to the thighs. And then reach up to the sky. And then exhale, hands down to heart. We'll do it 2 more times. I'm going to stay in standing. If you're working from seated, just continue to work from seated. Inhaling. Moving slowly, exhaling, just noticing how the body feels, supporting the hands as needed, finding the chair, the thighs, head hangs down. Inhale, pressing into the chair, lengthening through the spine, or pressing into the thighs, straightening the spine. Exhale, forward folding. Just really trying to match breath to movement here. That can be the focus. And then pressing down with strong legs, using your hands for assistance, coming all the way up, hands to the sky. And then exhaling. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling. Exhaling. See if you can regulate with the breath, focusing on the movement. Hands to the chair or thighs, flattening to the spine. Folding forward. Bending the knees if you're in standing, rolling up. Use your hands on your thighs to support you all the way to the sky. That feels right. And then exhale. So really focusing on the quality of your movement and seeing if you can keep your awareness on all of the sensations that are happening here as we move through these forms. Hands to sky. Exhale, folding forward, just noticing the lengthening of the muscles. Hands to thighs, noticing the strength of the arms as you use them to help you flatten through the spine or straighten the spine. Folding forward, noticing the connection of the feet into the floor as you fold. Pressing down, bending the knees if you need to, if you're in standing, coming all the way up. And then hands coming to the sky. And then hands coming down. Let's do 1 more. Inhaling. Slow like molasses, exhaling. Hands to thighs and lengthening through the spine. Folding forward. Pressing down with the feet as you inhale to roll up, hands to thighs, hands to the sky. And then exhale, hands to heart. And just pausing here as you inhale. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Opening the eyes. We're going to move into our warrior series. So we're going to work through the series in seated. If you know the series in standing, then feel free to move into standing. Previous videos have shown the warrior series in standing with the use of the chair. Today, I'm going to do the whole series in the chair. Okay, so if you're not sure how to do it in standing, just do it seated or pause here, check back into previous episodes of the chair yoga class. Okay. So we're going to move into warrior two. So to do that, we're going to take the right leg and we're just going to, we're going to come to the corner of our chair first. So let's come to the right corner of our chair so that we're sitting on the corner. And then you can take your right foot and open it out. And then the left leg, you're going to walk it out to the best of your ability. So it's going to be on an angle and your body's on the right corner. So this is modified legs for warrior two. So this is your form here. If this left leg isn't feeling comfortable, you can scooch it a little bit more forward, and that's going to still maintain the opening through the hips, but it's going to be a little bit easier on the knee joint. So pausing here. Now you might choose to take a peaceful warrior two, so you could bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Or maybe for today, let's try lotus form with the hands. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your hands and you're going to keep your thumb and your pinky fingers touching, but you're going to peel the other three fingers apart. And you can hold that at your heart like an opening lotus, an opening or blooming lotus flower. And pause here. Now you might choose to look straight ahead, or as you hold your lotus, perhaps you look over the right shoulder and you pause here as you inhale. And exhale. Allowing your body to soften in the form, pressing with the feet into the floor, inhaling. And exhaling. Let's take one more breath, inhaling. And exhaling. Now bringing your head to center, releasing your mudra and taking your right hand on your right thigh. To go into side angle, you could pause here and then if you'd like, you could reach this left arm to the sky. Or if you felt that you had the mobility and the ability today to just rest on that right forearm, and then maybe looking up to the sky or looking straight ahead or looking down towards your right knee for side angle. Stay here as you inhale. Take that right hand, turn it palm up, stay here as you exhale, knowing that you can change at any time, come out of the form at any time. Let's do one more breath. And then as you exhale, let's come up and let's gently place this left hand on the left thigh and then take this right palm and we can reach it parallel or as high towards your crown as feels right for you. And then just gazing at your right palm, like you're trying to scoop the moon out of the sky. And I think we're actually either we're just past a full moon or we're moving towards a full moon. But she was huge last night. So maybe just imagine scooping the moon out of the sky here as you inhale. And then exhale. Again, if this is hard on your shoulders, you can take that hand to your hip, inhaling here. And then exhaling, coming to center. Now for triangle, let's just walk that right foot out so that it's a little bit straighter. And then we're just going to come down and take that palm up. And you can have this hand rest on the thigh or cupping the knee, but there's no weight. So maybe don't even go there. Maybe let's just rest our hand on the thigh here as we inhale and exhale. One more breath, perhaps looking up to that left hand. And then exhale, let's come back up out of that. Now to come out of position, walk this right leg in. You can use your hand to bring your left leg in, and then just bring yourself back to center. And pause here for a moment and just take attention to breath, maybe closing your eyes. Just noticing how that feels. And then opening the eyes, we'll do the other side. So let's come to the corner so that we're sitting on the left corner, and then you can adjust your seat accordingly, whether you need to go forward or backwards. Now, just to note, sometimes when we sit in this straddle position, there can be pressure of the edge of the chair on the backs of the thighs. And sometimes that can create a little bit of numbness or tingling. So if that's the case, you might need to scoot your seat back. Okay, or you could take a cushion and place it on top of the chair and then sit on that. Okay, so just know that if there's pressure on the back of the thighs and you're feeling numbness and tingling, then you might be putting too much pressure on, it's just not, there's pressure in the wrong position. So just coming out of that, we don't want to have numbness and tingling in the legs. So now the left leg is going to be bent, and then the right leg is going to straighten out. So I'm actually doing this form now, sitting back a little bit. So because I'm sitting back a little bit, it's a little bit harder to get this leg straight, and that's okay. Okay, maybe turning the foot in if that feels right for you. We're going to go into our warrior two. So we're going to take that lotus form with the hands again. So taking the hands to the heart with the pinky fingers and the thumbs touching, the middle three fingers pulled apart, shoulders down the spine, holding that lotus right at the heart. And maybe if you like, if it's comfortable, you might choose to take your awareness down as if you're gazing down into the center of your lotus. If that's not comfortable on your neck, then looking straight ahead or looking over the left shoulder, wherever the head position is, just allowing the eyes to soften. And just holding the lotus at the center of the heart, the beautiful flower that grows up from the mud in the swampiest pools. So in the darkness of the black water, that lotus is able to draw nutrition to bloom into one of the most beautiful flowers, in my opinion. And then bringing head to center, taking the hands down. We're going to go into that side angle. So if you like, you can bring this left forearm down. Maybe this is as far as you go today with that palm up, or maybe you take the hand to the sky. And pause here as you breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Maybe you go here, hand on the waist. You could look up towards the sky, you could look straight ahead, or you could look down. Again, just noticing how it feels in the body to be in this form. And then slowly coming up out of that, well, you're going to go into our side angle. So now the right hand is going to come down along the right thigh, and we're just going to turn to look to the left. And then this left arm can maybe reach out or up, maybe following the hand with the gaze here as you inhale and exhale. Again, imagining you're scooping the moon out of the sky. Good, and then coming up, moving into our triangle form, you might want to scoot that leg a little bit more straight. It's not going to go all the way straight probably, but you can scoop it a little bit more straight. And then side leaning into that left leg, maybe forearm or maybe just hand, and then just taking this arm out and up. Staying here as you inhale. And then exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. One last breath as you breathe in. And then exhaling, taking that arm down, coming to center. Slowly bringing your legs back. And then we're just going to do a short twist on each side. So sitting tall, taking that right hand behind you as you exhale, start to turn the torso to the right. You might choose to take this left hand on the outside of the right knee and press the right knee gently into the left hand so that you're not letting your knees collapse. So you're trying to maintain a little bit of space between the knees, maybe turning to look towards your right, or maybe going further and looking over the right shoulder. That doesn't feel very good for me today, so I'm just going to look gently towards the right. Spine is long, inhaling here, and then exhaling. Visualizing a beautiful spiral along your spinal column. And then bringing the head to center, torso returns to center. Give yourself a moment here to recalibrate. And then we're going to go to the other side. So taking the left hand to the left back of the chair or to the left side of your seat, whatever is available for you. And then the right hand can come across to the right as you gently turn to the left, holding length in the spine as you reach through the crown, pressing the left knee into the right hand so that you don't pull those knees together. And then just pausing here as you inhale and exhale. Good, and then releasing the head to center, releasing the body to center. And we're gonna move directly into a brief Shavasana. So you might choose to have your blocks for underneath your feet. And I like to have a bolster to rest my arms on. So you might choose to have an extra cushion or maybe a folded blanket. But just having the feet resting on the blocks. If you choose to take your Shavasana laying down, you might choose to lay down on the floor or even go to a couch or even to your bed for this practice, for this end of practice. So I'm gonna just let my hands relax, palms up. I'm resting back in my chair. So invitation for you to do the same. Do whatever it is that you need to do to find a level of comfort, allowing the shoulders to relax away from the ears. And if it feels right for you to close down the eyes, it might feel more comfortable to have the eyes open and just soften the gaze. So whichever feels best for you. And then for today's practice, rather than guide you through as I've done in the past, just allow your mind to soften and see if you can let your attention rest on the breath as you inhale and exhale. You may be aware of sensations in the body or thoughts or even sounds in the room, but just allow the sensation of breathing to be at the forefront of all of those other sensations you might be experiencing. Allow your body to relax. I invite myself to relax. I feel myself relaxing. I invite myself to release. I feel myself releasing. I feel myself releasing. And then as you're ready, bringing your awareness back to the room, wiggling your fingers and your toes. If your eyes were closed, you can open your eyes. If your gaze was softened, you can widen your gaze. If it feels right for you today, bringing your hands into your heart, bowing your head. And perhaps if it feels right, repeating to yourself in your mind, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And then opening your eyes. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for chair yoga today. I hope that you have a lovely day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.